Good morning, and it's so nice to see everyone here today. I'm Guyla Whitlow, and I'll be your moderator, fights included. My poker claim to fame was when I knocked out Gene Smart. Who knows Gene Smart? My strategy was I bought the shots. She got drunk, and I won. You always have to have a strategy. For the past 18 years, I have had the privilege to produce all of the Women in Poker Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. This allowed me to look deeper in their families and their successes in poker and life. If there's one thing I've grown to realize is every one of them has a deep love for life. During this panel discussion, expect to have some fun, learn from the female greats, and receive tips to improve your game. This panel represents more than 400 years of poker playing experience and they have over $6 million in winnings. Now, please welcome to the stage Vegas's #1 Washington Commanders Redskins and the writer of Debbie Does Poker, Debbie Burkhead. Next, a scuba diving enthusiast, literally a bionic woman, and quite frankly, she ain't right. Jan Fisher. Instinctively, animals know who will care for them. Cat lover and leader of the famous Coyote News press conference here in Vegas, Jeannie David. Most of us know this next panelist as the queen of No Limit Hold'em. But she's also very successful as a businesswoman, where everything she touches turns gold. J.J. Liu. Worldwide cruiser, Mexican train master. In fact, I recently asked her, when's the World Series of Mexican Train? She recently picked the winner of the 2026 Alaskan Iditarod race, Linda Johnson. They say you know the character of a woman if you've met their children. Proven statement. Mexican cuisine expert Lupe Soto. She survived moving to another country, another culture at a young age. And years later, she survived a life-threatening aneurysm and brain surgery. Marsha Wagner. Vegas is rich in history, and we get to enjoy that history most days on Facebook. She has lived in so many changes in the poker world. Poker's historian, Terry King. Y'all please have a seat. Let's have another round of applause for these greats. Today, at random times, I will ask you, the audience, questions. The first person who answers the questions correctly will receive a voucher for free poker charms at the poker gifts table out by the poker room. Excuse. Uh, could someone move the microphones towards the next round? Right there. Next round. If you will, if you know the answer, go to a microphone. Okay, so let's give the first question a try. This panel represents 5 Hall of Fames, poker Hall of Fames. Who knows all 5? Jan.
I think I could take a guess.
Oh, there. Wait, Janice.
She's disqualified.
Go ahead. Let's see if she can guess all 5.
All right, Debbie Burkhart for sure. Debbie Burkhart. Right. Jan Fisher, Linda Johnson. Masha Wagner.
There's 5 different Hall of Fames.
Oh, which one?
We all know these are in the Women in
Oh.
Poker Hall of Fame. But what other Hall of Fames are they in?
Oh, you didn't say that.
Uh-huh.
You mean like the one for? I'm not sure.
Okay, Janice, give it a whirl. And talk in the microphone, please. Raise your voice.
I've never done this before. No, I'm good. WSOP, WPT, Women's Hall of Fame, Seniors Hall of Fame, and Australian Hall of Fame.
Thank you for covering that, Janice. I told her 6 times last night. Okay. I've always wanted to do this. So many times, you know, when I look at when they're inducted and I look at photos and I look at photos and I see their past experiences and I see their wins, I get questions. Why? You know, what drove you to be as good as you are? So, example, I was talking to Jennifer. This is another great thing. I get to talk to these people. You know, I get to call Jennifer Harmon, which, I mean, she is like my idol. Sorry, Linda. Example, I asked Jennifer, who was the best Chinese poker player, Linda or her? She told me, well, I am. But don't tell Linda that. Panelists, you'll find voting pads next to you. Now, I want you to answer it honestly. If you think it's you, vote me. And then we're going to discuss why you voted. The first question, who is the best no-limit player on this table? It's 5-1. That's kind of like the election, Marcia. Okay. Who is the best stud player. Tournament or cash? Who's the best stud player?
This isn't planned, by the way, so we don't know who's going to answer what. But it's certainly Terry King.
You know, looking back, most of these people started during the stud era. So we've got Debbie, we've got Linda, we've got Terry, we've got Jeannie. Marcia voted for Terry. And Terry. So
Okay, it's
Terry has it.
100% Terry, 100%. When I was first starting, yeah, me too. When I was first starting, Terry played with the big boys, and I was just so enamored and jealous of her, and she was my hero, and she was playing 3 and 600 stud, and she is the woman.
Tear it up, Linda. There you go. Go ahead, Linda. Oh, you're done? Okay. Who's the best stud high-low? Best stud high-low. Debbie's voting for herself every time. Okay, Marsha Wagner says me. Linda, Marsha, Jeannie, Marsha. Okay, I think Marsha has that one. Okay, I don't think we have any problems with this one. Best Raz player. Linda, gold bracelet winner in Raz.
I picked me because I wrote the Raz book.
And the stud book and others. Okay. I call this the cocaine of poker. Who's the best pot limit Omaha player? Two.
You are not, Linda. It's
Okay. And you know, by the way, Linda and Marsha was the first of 4 inductees into the Women in Poker Hall of Fame. That's what they mean to us. Okay, who's the best all-around mixed game player? Best all around. Jeannie's, you know, Jeannie, on mixed games, how many years have you been playing mixed? 3, and she's 30 in mixed games. And Jeannie's really starting to evolve. We hope she lives through it. Okay, here's a...
Wait a minute. There's
Okay.
the mixed games that you see that are like tours and stud and all that fun stuff. But if you want Dramaha and Badacy and Badoogie and all that shit,
Okay, this should be an easy one for everyone in the room. Who is the best promoter of women in poker? Can we have a show of hands? Okay. I like this question, and I ask it a lot from the Hall of Famers. I want you all to go back in time to 2009. What panelists would you not want to be at your table? What player would you not want to be at your table?
I don't know. I never played with JJ. Oh, one time.
This is a fine example of why mail-in ballots do not work.
Have you seen how much money she's won?
I know.
Okay then, it's JJ.
JJ. Okay. Now I'm going to ask some individual questions, and I've asked them to chime in if something, creeps in their mind. But let's start with this. On Facebook, I see so many people writing about the tough times they're having at tables. So I thought we'd spend some time on this. I have heard rumors that one of the panelists had a gun pulled at the table while she was playing. Could someone talk about that? Pick up your microphone, Terry. Put it to, it's on. Pick it up, speak.
Hello, can you hear me? At 3 different times I've had a gun pulled at the table. One, I was dealing at Silver City in the middle of a really big no-limit pot, and the guy came up and stuck a gun to my head. I said, drop the gun or I'm dropping the deck. It was the card room manager. He was drunk. Another time, an old school player, Jimmy Casella, pulled a gun on the guy. He caught the guy holding out. He just set his gun on the table. The guy reached for the pot. Jimmy looked at him. He said, go ahead, take it. And then when I was at a home game in Atlanta, a guy grabbed a gun and pointed at the guy. And the guy's wife tackled the guy with the gun and handed me the gun. I'm like, I don't know what to do with a gun.
Oh, what years? What era?
Oh, Silver City was in the 70s. I was only 7. It's not that funny. And then Atlanta was 2010, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember anymore.
Jan, you moved to Vegas in 1977. Okay. And you moved to Vegas to become a dealer? What was it like to deal in the 70s and 80s?
It was really tough to find a supplier. Oh, you mean deal poker? Sorry. When I started dealing poker back in 1977, it was one of the most difficult jobs you could have. You could be the best dealer in the world, get all the cards out, do everything perfect, and some big, whoever loses a pot, they're liable to do or say anything. I got called the C word an awful lot. I also had a friend who was dealing at the Dunes, and a player who has since died, and I'm kind of glad for that. Of course, political saying that. And he urinated on her leg under the table. So, no, it wasn't. But the interesting thing about that is that most of you guys don't even know about that horrendously bad behavior. There's some bad behavior now, but it's nothing compared to what it was. And that lady right there in the middle, who used to own Card Player Magazine, told card room managers back around 2000 or 2002 that if they didn't start making penalties or doing something about the bad behavior, she was going to write about poker's dirty little secret. There you go. And it took time, but you guys have a nice play area to play in now. Thank you, Linda.
JJ, you've played in many no limit tournaments. Many. When you're at a table, how do you handle players that are pushy and maybe over the top abusive? How do you handle that? What do you do?
Nowadays, not like 25, 30 years ago, a lot of young kids, they are very, very aggressive. So when I was young, I used to, my nickname was Mack Truck. Linda gave me that. So to do with a lot of people more aggressive, especially young kids. And actually, you have to play loose and go on top of them. Sometimes, you know, what should I put it? They are aggressive because they 3 bets. Sometimes the people do like 4 bets, but it's very hard to do. But they can't hold the hands all the time. So obviously they don't have a hand. So at that time you need to be, you know, they call exploit poker. You want to see, and you have to find your spot to be control those aggressive kids.
Okay, thank you. That's just, you know, Jeannie comes over the top of me all the time and raises, and I fold.
So I nicknamed JJ Mack Truck because when you play with her, you feel like you've been run over by a Mack truck. So she's talking about these young kids being aggressive. This one, aggressive.
Debbie, over the years you have mentioned to me 1,000 times about proper etiquette at the table. Are guns and abuse a good example at the tables?
Well, this is a open carry state, so I think it's okay.
Can everybody hear?
No, seriously, we're here to promote women in poker. So if you're berating another woman at the table, you're not doing justice to us, to all of us. You know, and it makes you look bad, and it makes them, most women that maybe are new to the game, they come to play ladies tournaments because they feel that it's a little less intimidating, okay? So you need to make them feel comfortable so that they can continue coming, because we need more women in poker. So I would appreciate, you know, I know people get upset, we all do. But when I leave a table, I always try to say, you know, good luck, ladies, even if I'm furious. I might bang my steering wheel on the way home. But, I mean, I try to leave with at least, you know, have fun. I hope everybody
Even
has
when
good
she
luck.
was heads up for the championship, for the Lips National Championship, and this woman who she was heads up with came at her all the way across the table, and I had to jump in between them and say, no! She was like, yeah, Lupe, I would have killed her. But at the table, she was like, look, you just need to sit down. It was pretty good.
She was berating
Ladies,
another girl.
it's okay to say good luck when you leave. I always do, or I enjoyed it. But please, please stop saying good luck all in. Okay. How many of you say good luck all in? I know you do. Raise your hands. I know you do. All right, here's the deal. You're not really wishing them good luck. You need them to be eliminated in order to win the tournament. So stop saying it, okay? You don't hear men say that. Let's not say it.
Lupe,
Or Terry says, or sorry. Don't say sorry.
Lupe, how has Lips helped women adjust to mainstream poker?
Boy, she's asking tough questions. Okay, I think because we have created environments for women to begin at all levels, like all the way from just starting the game and then practicing their game in an intermediate play, all the way to providing very high roller type environments, which is kind of new. We started our high roller last year. But I think that it's not just lips. It's every single one of you guys who are doing something in the game for women, whether it's coaching or just celebrating them or being a friend to somebody. And I like to say that a lot of it and those relationships started right here in Lips.
Thank you. Ladies, let's not allow abuse at the table. I don't care if it's a woman, man, 3 men, 2 women. If you see abuse or you hear abuse, call the floor. This is supposed to be enjoyable. Okay, it's time for a question. What 2 panelists owned Harley Davidson motorcycles? Did. In their life, how many people?
I'll take a guess. I don't know for sure, but I would guess Debbie and Jan. Nope. Neither one?
You're 50.
Okay, so Debbie never.
I had 2 motorcycles. She's had motorcycles.
Oh,
We don't have Harleys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somebody else. Ruthie?
I think it's Jan and Jean. All right, ding, ding, ding.
Yay, ding, ding, ding.
85 Softail, folks.
Oh, nice.
You got the prize. See me afterwards. Jeannie, as we all know, poker has high and lows. What's the best way to handle the lows without financially going too deep?
Okay.
A microphone.
So before I answer this question, I just want to say if you did see Debbie and I playing Dragon Link, we were doing gambling addiction research. On a serious note, as the head of responsible gaming at PokerStars for 15 years, this was the crux of my job. And what I was able to do was provide our players with gaming limits, bankroll management. And so I would say that the best thing that you can do, I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first is bankroll management. And what that really means is separate your bankroll from your life expenses. Don't play poker or don't play cash games with your mortgage or your rent money. And by the way, I'm talking to the recreational player right now, not the pros or not the people who are financially wealthy and can afford to have 6 and 7 buy-ins, which takes me to my next point. Don't compare yourself to other players, because if you start looking at other players, you're playing in a $200 tournament, for example, and they have 6 or 7 buy-ins, and they just keep going and they keep re-entering, and you don't have that bankroll. Envy is your worst enemy. Don't compare yourself. The next thing I would tell you is protect your mental game, and I can attest to this. I was planning to play every single mixed game tournament in a series going on at Caesars right now, and by the second day, I came home. I had some mental and physical challenges, and I was so looking forward. It was my favorite tournament the next day, and I decided I can't play right now. I have to stay home and I have to take care of myself, because you know what? Poker's going to be there tomorrow, and poker's going to be there next week. And if you are not mentally fit and physically fit to play, don't play. If you're going over your limits, it's okay. It's not a failure. It's a survivor instinct to drop down in your limits, drop down in your buy-ins. I'm a kind of one and done kind of person. So, you know, if I bust out of a tournament, and I mostly play tournaments, then I go home, and that's it.
Thank you. Jan.
That reminded me of a time I played with Daniel Negreanu in the World Series in a rebuy tournament. Daniel had to had to come second to be even for his buy-in. He had that many rebuys, and he did come second. Yes.
Okay, Jan, let's say I live in a state that doesn't have poker.
I say call Allied Van Lines and have them take your stuff right away.
And the only time I get to play poker is to travel to Vegas to play in the Lips series, the week-long series, and then I go home. And it's like a vacation. I'm having to pay for a hotel room. I'm having to pay for my food. I'm having to pay for a rental car. How can I build a bankroll?
Well, the one obvious thing starting out is, are you a winning player? Because it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bankroll. If you can't beat the game, you're not going to increase the bankroll. And tournaments are a very difficult way. If you're a good player and you like tournaments, that's fine, but you just aren't going to win enough in tournaments unless you make a big score in a big event. Play cash games because you can play your own pace. You can play the games that you want. You can sit in the seat that you want. And if you take a loss and things aren't going well, you can go home and you can get it back the next day or lose more the next day. But tournaments are a real bad way to increase bankroll. Playing cash and being honest with yourself. If you can't beat the game, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Thank you.
But
I
I
also wanted to tap in out of that bit.
Go ahead.
You know, like for our series, is anything that we do, we always have an online bankroll builder. We have a partner. You go to the Lips Tour, it says online. You can do those little darn tournaments for $20 online and with a group of other women and build your bankrolls. This one allows all. Yes. So, see me afterwards.
Let's see. Linda, do you keep daily, weekly records of win-losses? And should the average poker player do that? It's
I think if you're a recreational player, you don't really have to keep good records. You just have to know whether or not you can afford to play. But if you're a professional poker player, it's important to keep your records. I always say at the beginning of the year, you know, you win, let's say you win $200 and you write it down, and then next day you win 150 and you write it down, and then the third day you lose 80, but you say, well, I'm not going to write it down because I can make it up tomorrow, okay? You're just cheating yourself and lying to yourself. So the kind of records you should keep is what days of the week do you play? What time of the day do you play? What game do you play? How long do you play? And then start examining. Like I actually found out that I did better, you know, playing on Wednesdays for some reason. So I made sure I was always out there on a Wednesday. But yeah, keep records, but keep honest ones.
Linda, another question. How many of you want to be a professional poker player? Okay. Linda, what kind of bankroll should I have? Well, I'm not a good example. Should anyone have to become a professional poker player?
It's not about the bankroll to become a professional poker player. It's about studying and learning and knowing that you can win, because you know the question was, you know, what kind of bankroll do you need to be a professional? It depends on what you're going to play and how good you are, but I would say the minimum, if you're a 1 to 3 player, you should have 100 times the buy-in if you're a winning player. There will be some slumps, but that's going to keep you comfortable and not worried about it. So like I said, and Jan said, if you're not a winning player, it doesn't matter what your bankroll is, it's going to be lost. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't play, because it's important to play for fun. You know, I play with a lot of recreational players, and we have a good time, and some of them win, some of them lose, but they know what they're doing. They know that they can afford it. You know, if I saw somebody that I didn't think, you know, I really was concerned about them, I would try to take them aside and talk to them. But it's okay to just have fun, and that's what we want you guys to do. Only 4 or 5 of you raised your hand that you want to be professional. If you do, there are ways you can become by all the study, but otherwise, just have a good time.
And talking
Jan?
about bankroll and how much money you need to be a player, the main thing you need to do is have, I think, at least a year, but some of the experts say 6 months of all your bills paid. So that your rent, your mortgage, whatever, your power bill, you keep that money segregated, you pay it all up front, because then if you are not doing well, which most of you will not be doing well, especially in tournaments, it's just the way it is. That way, at least you aren't going to go home and sweat your bills. Because if you play money that you're trying to play your bills with, and if you're playing money that's really your house money and not your bankroll, that's a real good recipe for disaster. Take care of business first.
Jan, I'm selling my house and sleeping on your couch for the next year.
Lucky for you, it's a good couch.
Marcia and Terry, you can chime in with this. Let's say I won a tournament for $12,000. How much should I keep in my bankroll, and how much can I spend on a vacation to Hawaii and buy stilettos?
Well, you have to keep your bankroll healthy, and you're going to win and you're going to lose. So if I win a tournament, I would probably put 60% of it into my bankroll.
Well, I'm so old school. I'm a dinosaur stud player, so there's nothing for me to play anymore. I've just now started trying to play No Limit Hold'em. I'm not very good, but I'm trying. But I can remember back in the day, I didn't keep records. If I paid my rent and ate, I was winning. That's how I knew. But there was a time at Caesar's Palace, speaking of stilettos, I found a pair of $600 ostrich stilettos, and I had to have them. So I went to the blackjack table and won at playing blackjack. And Diana Ross even sat down at my table one day. She said, "Oh, I've got to leave. I've got to go buy shoes." I said, "Are you going to the Caesar's Palace shoe shop?" She said, "Hell no, they're too expensive." But now I'm old and I don't wear stilettos anymore. So I don't have that problem. But yeah, keep your bankrolls healthy. But vacation and rest, we used to always go somewhere before a tournament. We'd go to Acapulco, we'd go to Hawaii. We'd rest up for a couple of weeks because tournaments were grueling back then. It was, we only had one tournament a year originally, and then Slim started having his tournament. So it was like 2 weeks of nonstop, day in, day out tournaments. So now you don't have to be that
and cash
intense.
in between. And cash games in between the tournaments.
Right.
Okay, I got a couple of questions for the audience. What panelist started her career playing poker at the community firehouse? I'll give you a hint. And if you listen to the introductions, you can probably put it all together. It was in Maryland.
It's a free roll for you guys to take a guess.
Debbie.
Debbie.
I'll come to me for your voucher. Next question. See if you know this. And if you've kept up and you've listened, you can probably figure it out. Of this panel, who has been poker dealers? Now, I'm not talking about charity tournaments or tournaments. I'm talking about they made a living playing poker. Go to the microphone.
Dealing poker, not playing.
I started playing poker in Australia. It's about 50-some years ago. And they asked me to I wanted to be a blackjack dealer because I could see I was playing in underground casinos because there were no legal casinos in Australia at the time. However, I saw the blackjack dealers making so much money, I wanted to be one. So when I was going to be a blackjack dealer, a guy came to me and said, would you like you to be the first poker dealer in Australia, a woman poker dealer? So my job was to play one night and deal the next night. And to survive in that job, I had to win. So that's how I became a winning poker player.
Well, now I have my third answer because I had two, and now I got Marcia. You dealt, right? Now I'm going to say Terry and Jan.
Terry. Yes.
You got it right, Marcia.
Yeah, I got you. Would you rather deal blackjack or would you rather deal poker?
Poker for sure. Blackjack, they pool their tips, and
they have to stand up. You can sit down and play poker.
at least you can
Deal
sit
poker.
down. Yeah, but blackjack dealers, some of them are grumpy. They're not friendly, and why do you want to work yourself? Work your butt off and have to split your tips with them. So when I finally turned 21, I said, well, Silver City opened up, and they said, we're hiring dealers. So I said, well, let me try this and see how this does. And I worked there for 4 years. It was a great job. This was in the 70s, and we still have a Silver City reunion. It was such a fun crew. 20, 30 people show up. That was back in the days when the Spilatro brothers from the movie Casino, they used to come in and play poker. And we hung out with them. They were just regular nice guys. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, people go, yeah, they're big mobsters. We're like, no, they're not. Yeah, well, they were. Jan knows them.
All right. Most of you are No Limit players, right? I started playing poker during the boom, and there was nothing else but No Limit. Maybe some 4-8, but most of these individuals started with stud, right? Of the time. JJ, did you start with stud or No Limit?
I started actually limit hold'em.
Limit.
When I was in San Jose, in Bay Area.
Yeah, that's a safe game. That's if you're down on your money, go to a safe game. Don't push the last part of your money in. Go to a safe game, a limit game. Linda.
Can I say something about the stud? The ladies' tournament in the World Series of Poker used to be 7-card stud. The very first World Series of Poker tournament that I played in was the stud game. And I made up my mind when I played it not to play any straights or flushes. And I kept my word that way. I ended up heads up with Karen Wolfson. I forget the year now, maybe 97 or something. And we played heads up for 7 hours. Yep. And we counted the chips, kept counting the chips. I didn't play my straights or flushes until they dealt me 9-10 jack of diamonds. And I couldn't resist. I made the flush. Karen had 2 pair and filled up. There I was in second place, my first tournament.
No bad beat stories.
A question for the audience. Who won a gold bracelet in the women's tournament playing stud? Yes, ma'am. No, of the panel.
But you're right.
No. Another guess? It's Terry. Right there.
Mine was Raz.
Okay, Linda, you often you promote No Limit women's players. Hey, expand your horizons. Why should women evolve into mixed games?
Why should women evolve into mixed games? Well, I think mixed games are a lot of fun, for one thing, and it's usually limit poker, and so you can limit your losses that way. Mixed games are becoming much more popular, and so I always say play more than one game, because if you walk into a card room and you see that the no limit game is really, really tough that day, then you can play something else. So it's fun, mostly, these mixed games.
Jeannie, do you want to add to that?
Yes. I would also say for anybody who wants to try mixed games and you have no idea how to play them, start by going. I'm not promoting the Orleans by any imagine, but go to the Orleans 6 days a week, 4 p.m. They have different mixed game tournaments for $150, and that's a lot cheaper than you'll be paying for a poker coach. You go in there, mixed game players love to analyze, they love to teach. You tell them that you've never played this before, and I promise you, you will get lessons of a lifetime. And the other thing is, you know, for me, the reason I like mixed games is I like to be in control. I hate to think that my aces could get cracked on the first hand, and I'm driving home cursing at the poker gods. And at least mixed game, you know, you get a lot of play. And as Linda said, you know, go to a 4-8 limit mixed game. Go to Lupe's mixed game, wherever it is now. I'm not sure where it is, but go there and tell them that you don't know how to play. The other way that I learned, I didn't start with stud. I started with Omaha High-Low. I started reading every single book I could get my hands on. I read, I went there. They used to say, seat open, Jeannie, seat open, because they knew that I was going there and I was going to lose, but the lessons were invaluable. And then I started playing Omaha High-Low online for a very low limit, you know, when we could play back in the early 2000s. And all of a sudden, I would go to Mohegan Sun, because that's where I lived, back east, and they would say, no, this seat's taken now, because I would start to win. And then one day, somebody said, well, the seats are full, but there's a limit hold'em. I had no idea how to play 2 cards. I only know 4 cards. So go and try it. $150. Here, they have an Omaha tournament every single Tuesday for $120. Let them know that you're new. They will teach you, I promise. They can't help themselves.
Can I just add on to that real quick?
Yes. But you
we're-
were my next question.
Oh, well,
But
let
I'm
me
sure you're
tag
gonna-
on this
I'm
one
sure
first,
you're
and then you
reading
can-
my mind.
I was. All right. Just wanted to let you know that we are in the process right now of getting a mixed games players organization together to teach mixed games. And if you are proficient in any of the basics of mixed games and you would like to teach in your area, please let us know, because we'll coordinate an opportunity for you to be a teacher somewhere. And that's the only way we're going to get it done, is if we can spread the word and spread the love of mixed games. And if you're here local, we're going to be starting a 3-6 mixed game, which is next to nothing, at the Golden Nugget. And so they've opened up their doors to us. And so if you're a local, we're going to be able to start that really soon, and you can learn on the cheat. Okay, what's my question?
That was
I'd
it.
like to add to that. There's
That
one
was
other
it.
way you can practice playing mixed games. PokerStars has home games. Okay, get 4 or how many women friends, put up $10 each in your whatever, and just practice. Play those games online, and it'll give you the knowledge of how to play the games and get used to it. You can play Omaha, you can play horse, you can play all of them. So those are a lot of fun if you get a bunch of friends. I have 2 leagues that most of us up here play. So it's fun too. You sit at home, play on your computer.
Okay. I have a question for the audience. A panelist spoke before Netherlands Parliament and met with the Prime Minister advocating online poker. I'll give you a hint. She also spoke to New Jersey, Michigan, and Nevada state legislatures. Does anyone know that answer? I believe right there in the blue shirt. Jeannie. Did Jeannie tell you before? Okay. We've all had embarrassing moments. I've had a few myself. But, Linda, what was your most embarrassing moment that has happened to you at a poker table?
I was playing heads up in a televised tournament, and all of a sudden I had a hot flash. And that was the most embarrassing. So when we got heads up, the host comes to interview me, and she says, "Linda, I see that you've broken out in a sweat. Are you nervous?" And I'm like, "No, you'll get old someday too." It was a WPT event, and if you ever see that one, you'll see that after the break, when we get heads up, there's a towel on my lap, and they did a pretty good job of editing around it, but that was horrible. And the other one, real quick, we were in France, and we sat down to eat, and they don't really like Americans there, so they're all staring at us. We were really hungry. There was this beautiful silver bowl, and it had all these nice vegetables in it. So we're digging in and eating, and now we come to the artichoke, and it's absolutely raw, at which point the busboy comes up and grabs the bowl because we've been eating the centerpiece.
That's 100% true. But even the two of those were not Linda's most embarrassing moment.
And Linda, who were you heads up with?
Christy Gazes.
Do you remember?
And she won, thank God. We only played like 4 hands. I was pretty far behind. I pulled up to almost even. She got kings, I got jacks, and it was over. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I was just really drenched.
And we were all watching, going, "Go over the top of her, Linda, now." But you didn't hear me.
And Christy Gazes is also a member of the Women in Poker Hall of Fame.
But Linda's most embarrassing moment wasn't really either one of those, although they were plenty embarrassing. We were in Japan, and our friend Hiroshi, who hosts us there, he makes his poker room non-smoking when we're there because it's real bad. And there's a window in the back, and they all go up smoking during break out this window. And that's where the bathroom is. So it's a little crowded back there, but we're on break. Linda goes into the bathroom. She comes out of the bathroom, and all of a sudden I realize that it got real quiet in the room. And I look at her. Somehow the roll of toilet paper has stuck to her, and she's dragging a piece of toilet paper. And now the Japanese, they won't say shit if they had a mouthful. They're not going to point and laugh. They're all kind of like. And then of course I busted out laughing. I'm like, "Linda, what are you doing?" And then of course they realized it was okay to make fun of her. But I think that was one of your most embarrassing moments.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. I had like 20 feet of toilet paper because it was still, it was still attached. I was just pulling it with me.
I can top that.
Thank you, Jan.
All right. I see there's a few men in the room. Cover your ears. I also want to say I've never told this story before, but come on, after that I have to. So I lived in the Isle of Man when I worked for Poker Stars, and I was the only woman that really played poker. So we would have home games with all the managers and directors, and it was all the men and me. And one day, we would always rotate to different people's houses. And one day we're sitting around a poker table, and I look down and I see a pair of ladies' underwear. And I'm thinking, wow, this is embarrassing for the host. I mean, what is he doing, having sex under the table? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I wanted to protect him and maybe hide the underwear. And I'm looking down, and I look down, and I realize it's my underwear. And what happened was I was wearing a pair of baggy jeans, and I must have done laundry, and the underwear got stuck in the laundry, and I'm sitting there amongst 9 men looking down at my underwear on the floor. And all I kept thinking is, oh my God, who saw it, and how am I gonna get it up? So I was doing this with my foot while I'm playing, and finally I was able to get it and put it in my pocket. And to this day, I don't know how many of those guys actually saw that, but. So now I've told that story to all of you. Never told it before.
And to the world.
I'm going to ask, and then we're going to go down the line. I've got a question for each one of you. What do you think are your greatest achievements in poker and life? Starting with Debbie. Microphone, please.
Do you have any in poker?
Being nominated to the Women's Hall of Fame and being inducted, of course. Being inducted into the Women's Hall of Fame. Being a LEPS Grand Champion. Several other tournaments I've won throughout my life, and I can continue to play. I'm retired, and I play when I want to now. I don't play as much. I've been having some eye problems, so I haven't been able to read the board as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I mean, I love my life, and I love being. I mean, I moved out here to play poker, and that's what I've been doing since '95. So Jan and I started at the Mirage, playing 1530 stud every single day. I mean, until we couldn't play stud anymore. Well, they moved it to Bellagio, and then, you know, it wasn't as. And then, of course, No Limit came in, so then we had to learn No Limit. All right.
Jan?
The funny thing about that 1530 game is that of the 8 players, there were 5 or 6 of them whose name was Jan. And so we had like Jan 1, Jan 2, Jan 3. Anyway.
Let's be honest. Y'all sat there and waited for the tourists to come to town. The fish.
No, actually, there were plenty of fish who lived here.
Okay.
But I think for me, my biggest accomplishment in poker, I think, is excuse me, being one of the founders of both the TDA and PokerGives.org. I'm kind of proud of both of them, and thank you. The TDA, we were going to do live cash games and make rules, and we couldn't even decide on dead button or forward moving button. So then we started working on the tournament list. The first year we got 14 rules. There's like 309 now. 14 rules, and some of them were like, you know, the player left of the big blind will start the action. You know, there were 52 cards in the deck. I mean, it was really stupid what the rule, what they were, but it got us started. And as far as my non-poker career, what am I most proud of?
You're still living.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm kind of going there. That I have made some amazing friends for life. I'm real lucky because I had a lot of people I could call, and they would say, "Where do you want me to be?" But I would say, it took me a while, but I finally got my shit together. So that's what I'm most proud of.
Jeannie.
So in 1972, I was 18. And if you're smart and you did the math, yes, I'm 71. I went to college, and life took a very challenging turn for me. Drugs. Well, 32 years later, I went back to school. And by the time I was 50, I graduated college, and I went on to get my master's degree in social work at 52 years old. So I would say, thank you, the thing that I was the most proud of is my education, because no matter what happens in my life, nobody can ever take that away from me. It's never too late to go after something you love in life. And because of my education, it afforded me the ability to get promoted in my current job at that time. I became the director of one of the largest residential substance abuse treatment facilities in New York City. And then I applied for the job at PokerStars, and I never could have done that without my master's degree. And you know, as Gyla said, you know, got to speak in front of Parliament in the Netherlands, became a Nevada state lobbyist, all tied into my education. So it's never too late. Go follow your dream.
JJ.
I'm thinking it's the runner-up in Bay 101, and I came second place, $600,000 at 2007. But that's not the poker stuff, because at that time I was 4 months pregnant. And actually, when I play heads up, I had a medical situation. I had a period, I don't know, and I was breathing like crazy. But after that, I had I don't know, 6-7 hours heads up. But I was really concerned. The first thing I got out, you don't see me, I was on the ambulance, go to Stanford. But very fortunately, my daughter, I had a ultrasound. She gave me sum up. So now she's 18 years old. So that's the best thing I have.
I think you were playing heads up against Ted Forrest. Yeah, it was televised. I watched it. Linda.
Wow. I'm proud of a lot of things I've done in poker.
It always happens.
I am. So, okay, I was the first person inducted into the World Poker Tour Hall of Fame. Second person in the Poker Hall of Fame. Winning a gold bracelet. Starting the Poker Players Alliance, lobbying in Congress, speaking to Congress about trying to get online poker legalized, and being able to teach World Poker Tour Boot Camp for 6 years, and getting to travel around with Lips as one of their hosts and doing seminars. And also, I have literally taught thousands of women to play poker on our poker player cruises, and some of them have really become good players and won tournaments, and that always makes me proud. So in life, I'm also proud that I can now realize that there are other things besides poker in life, and I can, it used to be I had to play every day. I mean, nobody loved poker more than I do, and I still do, but I also realize that family is important, and going to concerts with friends, Kathy, is important, and those kind of things. As far as in life, I guess I'm proud of my reputation. And, if you're in business, poker business, I've been in it for, 73, so, more than 50 years, and never been involved in a scandal or anything that somebody could say, I had done anything bad, so I'm proud of that.
I always said when I grow up, I want to be Linda. That's the way it is. But, crap. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, being able to have the opportunities in poker to meet such amazing women and be able to come forward and build organizations where women get to excel and have wonderful friendships. Oh, God.
It's really emotional because, I don't have any children, but I feel like I'm a matriarch, and Lupe feels the same way.
Absolutely, I do. And to be able to be in the presence of these phenomenal women, I feel like I was a little bit of a fraud because they have huge accomplishments in poker. And I was just the tag along, and I was like in awe. I was in awe of these women. And to be able to establish a Women in Poker Hall of Fame so that they can get recognized and you all get to learn who they are is a huge accomplishment. And outside of poker, it would be my children because they are way better people than I am.
Let me add something. So I had the honor of doing the induction speech for Lupe. And so I looked up how, and there were two candidates that year. One was Maria Ho, and one was Lupe. So I went to Hendemab. And so when I did her induction, I said, okay, so Maria has 2.9 million in wins, and Lupe has 2.600 in wins.
That's what I was going to add. I wanted to see how much all of these together, these panelists together, have won in tournaments, went to Hinda Mob. Man, we were this close going over the 6 million mark.
JJ's got 9 million.
And I said, well, let me look at Lupe's. Well, the $2,995 pushed them over the $6 million. Okay, Marcia.
I grew up in Australia, and I left school when I was 14 years of age. Went to work. I got offered a job, went to work, started saving. I'm going to America. Oh, no, you won't go. Yes, I will. Well, eventually, when I was 21, I came to America on a cruise ship on my own with a one-way ticket and not a whole lot of money. But I've lived most of my life in this country. I'm proud of a lot of things in poker. One of the things I'm really proud of is that I finished 12th in the main event in 1997.
Let me tell that story real quick.
Excuse me?
Let me tell that story real quick. Wendine Hollis proclaims...
Not very many women, no.
Proclaims that she was the first woman in history to cash in the main event. Well, she cashed 13th. Guess who cashed 12th? Marcia.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was proud. I got to play with Stewie Unger at the second last table, and he went on to win the event. I'm very proud of being in the Hall of Fame with these lovely women that are all my friends, I hope. I'm also was the first lady to be inducted in the Australian Hall of Fame. And another one, seniors, I think, and whatever. Anyway, I'm also proud in life of my family. I'm very close to my family and my extended family, who most of them are still in Australia, where I used to be able to return every year. But now time is getting where I can't travel as much anymore. I didn't start playing poker until I was in my early 30s. Now, when I'm proud to say I'm 86 years of age. And I'm having trouble like getting back to Australia where I want to go. So that's about it.
Thank you, Marcia.
I just crossed the $1 million with the Hendon Mob.
Well, I left Oklahoma when I was 18 with a one-way ticket, $200 in my pocket, and no plan B. My boyfriend's aunt lived here, and she played poker. I didn't have a clue, and I started playing poker and eventually quit my legal secretary job and just played $1 to $3 stud at the dunes every day for 2 years until I turned 21 and went to work dealing. But back in those days, of course I was 18, all those old timers, most of them are now in the Hall of Fame, they'd stop by the table, and Sarge Ferris, who's in the Hall of Fame, used to take me to breakfast at the Sands in the garden room, and he would teach me the ways of the world, you know. Tell me about, if you borrow money and you tell the guy you'll pay him back on Tuesday, you better have it for him by Tuesday. And if you don't, it better mean you're dead. Or if you're just in the hospital, you better be figuring out a way to get him paid. And I've tried to live my life that way. I think somehow I escaped the days of cocaine and the mob days and some crazy, I've survived. I'm proud that I've survived 2 terrible car wrecks and beat cancer, and
I'm still here, and I think my reputation's intact.
Thank you. Okay, let's turn it to you all. Please, if you've got a question for any of the panelists, please go to the microphone and ask the question. Thank you.
How do you guys feel about paying the bubble?
FTB. You know what the F is, and it's the bubble. Okay. Yeah. I have no problem making deals, ICM chops or any kind of deal once you get to the final table, but everybody always wants to pay the bubble. And the reason I don't like it is because you know that there's somebody who has a mountain of chips and somebody who has this many, and this person doesn't want to pay the bubble, but it's a social pressure that you have to, say yes. And so I would just say eliminate paying the bubble altogether. Thank you, Patty, for the question. Ruthie.
I have two.
I just wanted to add to that. They did eliminate paying the bubble at South Point, so you don't have that option.
Well, I know you guys like to do it, but
there's other ways that but yeah, they've eliminated it technically. Anyway, I have two things. One, I think everybody out here will agree with me that we are the ones that are proud to be here with all of you beautiful friends and people. I know that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the lessons, the friendship, the love. That's the first and most important thing I wanted to say today. And secondly, Linda, is it okay if you bang on the table to wish them good luck before they get busted?
Yeah. If you want to bang, just bang. Bang away.
Okay.
Just
Thank
don't
you
say
all.
good luck all in.
And Ruthie, you can see me for autographs. Everyone, autographs go through me. It's $350. We will not put their name on it, so it'll be worth something.
I have a question. Hello. How do you guys feel about showing hands or showing cards when you're at the table?
No.
And why?
Gives away too much information.
Okay, the only time that I show cards is early in a tournament, and I hate to tell you all this because I'm going to be playing with you, but I'm honest about it. So if I'm on the button early in the tournament, I'm not raising, and so if I do get a really good hand on the button, I will show it. Oh, I had king, so that they give me credibility for having good hands, because later on I'm going to start stealing a lot on the button. Right. So it's a planned thing, but otherwise I do not show cards, and I recommend that you don't, because people, I love it when you guys show cards. I really do. So please continue, but no, it gives us information.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Marcia.
I'm guilty of showing cards at times. It's part of my game, actually.
Mine too. Show them what you want them to see.
Also, there's a bad thing about making people feel good. I always want to make people feel good. And I know that the bubble is the hardest thing for a tournament player to go through. So I am in.
Pay the bubble advocate.
Yes, I am. Yes, I do. I do like to pay the bubble because I like to make people feel good.
But what about, there's still a bubble, Marcia.
Right.
You pay the bubble, there's still a bubble. So there's always going to be a bubble.
No, there's only one bubble.
No, there's always, okay, if you pay them.
Whether they get paid or
not. The bubble
not.
is the last person who didn't get money. So you're creating a new
Whether
bubble.
they get paid or not, they're the bubble.
So, yeah.
Okay, next question, please.
Okay, so it was asked to Lupe what she has attributed and how it affects people, same with Linda and Jan and everybody. But people told me from my home casino, you need to start traveling, you need to play the circuit. I didn't even know what the circuit was. So I end up in Choctaw, and who do I meet but Ruth Hall. And Ruth's like, I've never seen you before. I was like, first time I've ever been here, you know. She's like, well, let me take in. And she had the lips. And she's like, gave me a little lips thing and says, you know, this is where you go. So then I met you, and then Card Player Cruises and met Linda, and then JJ at Card Player and Jan, and everybody. It just all develops. And I didn't start playing until I was 43 years old, and I just turned 65. So I've only been playing. I'm a baby in your leagues, but the impact that you ladies have had. Now, don't get me crying too here. Lupe, your heart is amazing. I don't care how much you have on your Hendon Mob. Your heart is for us. And that just touches me beyond belief. So the question I have has got to be for JJ. I know a lot of Linda and Jan stories, and I love you guys, and I know a lot about your history, and your friendship is just amazing. I wish I had a best friend like you guys have. JJ, I know your mama plays, but how did you get started? How did you get here? Well, just tell us a little bit of your history, please.
I came from Taiwan. I came here for education. I had to study computer science. So I was engineer, software engineer in Silicon Valley. And my mother, I want to tell you this story. My mother just turned 100 years old. And she is the one play poker. She still does. And go B101 twice a week. I think this is a secret to have a longevity. The reason is, she was widow for a long time, but you can't depend on all the kids, and this is very good for mental. I asked her whether it's a health or it's not. It's your mental to keep you going. So I got a great mom. So every time I final table, she said, "Why you play that hand?" And I feel, very, but she's always support me when I go everywhere play tournament. She's always there, rooting for me. And so I started to play poker, and she wanted to go to play all kind of games. Until now, I still can understand like a Pai Gow tile. I look at it, I just couldn't understand. She's like 100 years old. She knows which one beats which. So what I try to see is, poker is really good for mental, and even you're not professional, but it's good. You won't get senile. You go have a social, and you see all the people, especially people just by herself, or it's really good for individual. Not for men and women, but especially for women, I will say, because a woman carry a lot of family. You have kids, and you have a lot of stress, responsibility. So later, and I started very late. My first one is 1996. I played Limit Holden, so I can, because Phil Helmuth was my neighbor. I live in Palo Alto, and everybody brag about it. He came to, we play cash game together. He's like flip the chair over, got a baby. So I was just curious. So I came 1996 to play the World Series the first time, and actually my first time was I played in the ladies tournament, because I have never played tournament before. I was like, I didn't know what was that before. So it's really good to start with the older woman, and then I went to play the World Series the first time. I came in fourth in the World Series Limit Holden, 3,000 buy-in. So that started me. Once I won, I get hooked to play the tournaments. So that's how I started the play tournament poker until now, 1996 until now. but yeah, But you know, everybody has their career and also kids. I have 3 children. They all grown up now. Finally, I have an empty nest, so I can.
Okay,
So-
we have another question.
Let me just add real quick. She's a wonderful businesswoman. I know she's owned hotels and restaurants, and she's very, very successful.
Hi. First off, I'll tell you a funny story since you're saying showing cards. I'm at a No Limit game, 1-3 at home, and I'm at. I'm probably is it on?
Is it on?
No, it's on.
Hello. Okay. Okay. I was playing 1-3 No Limit at home, and first seat is my buddy Freddie, and I'm in second seat. My husband's on the other side, and he is an older Chinese man, very disciplined. Okay, so he's on the other side of the table, and Freddie and I are in the pot, and he's chasing to the river, and I'm going, Freddie, what do you have? And he goes, okay, Shannon, if you, I'll throw it away if you show me. So I did. I showed him. So I did it about 2 or 3 times. My husband is just giving me that Chinese mean look, and I'm just like, okay. We get home in the car. I don't even get the door shut. Why are you showing your cards? This and that. I mean, I'm hearing this for 3.5 days about showing cards, throwing cards. So next Friday, here we are, same scenario. Freddie's in the 1, I'm in 2, my husband's over there. And within an hour, he says, I'll throw my cards to show me. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at my husband, and he's glaring at me. And I said, Freddie, I would much rather show you my tits than my cards right now. But anyway, I just want to thank Lupe for all she's done. I want to tell the story where I met her at Ocean's 11. And there was a lady by the name of Billy Brown that she used to run the tournaments. Used to be a week of the state championships. And she had phenomenal 3 or 4 day tournaments, catered to the hilt, gifts, and of course, personal friends with Linda Johnson. And I was coming from the airport, and there's this bubbly lady in my shuttle driving. She's just bubbling and talking to me and this and that, and she was asking me questions and this and that. It was Lupe. Lupe was driving the back.
I was driving my shuttle bus. I had a transportation company in San Diego, and we had the contract for Ocean's 11. And I picked her up from the airport to take her to Ocean's 11. She says, I said, what you doing here? She says, I'm here for a ladies tournament. And I had just started playing poker. You know, I mean, like I was the girlfriend behind the boyfriend to play poker. So I parked my van and I went inside to see what they were doing. And that's when I got to meet most of these people. And I was like, I'm taking the next couple days off and I'm going to Ocean's 11. And that was the beginning, ladies, because it was Ocean's 11 that showed me what can happen for women in poker. And this event here is a lot like what we did in Ocean's 11 way back in the 90s. And it was Shannon that told me.
Very quick story about showing hands. Okay, in the 1999 Tournament of Champions, it was final table, and David Chu raised, and doesn't matter who the players are, but somebody moved all in over the top. And David went into the tank, and he finally folded, and he showed 2 kings face up. And everybody's like, oh, my God, how could you fold kings? Well, then Louis, as the one who had gone all in, showed 2 aces, okay? What did that do for David? It made his head feel so good, so empowered him that he'd made the right laydown. If he had not shown him the aces, it would have bothered David the whole time thinking about it. And that's another reason. I mean, you know, I love people, and I want to make people happy, but when I'm competing, I want to win. I'm very competitive, and I respect the game of poker a lot, and so that's why I don't pay the bubble and why I don't show cards, things. It's not because I'm a mean person, but that's a good example of what happened when he showed him the kings.
Old David Chu
Okay, next question.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I heard a couple of you have gone on a poker cruise before. I'm going on my first one this year. So I want to know, tell me what to expect as like a first timer going, and what's like the do's and don'ts of the poker cruise.
Fun. Expect fun.
You're going to have a great time. First of all, we have a lot of women on our cruises because it's a very safe environment. It's totally a no abuse card room. I let them know up front that we won't tolerate. And if you let them know and you don't tolerate it, you're not going to have it. And so Lupe actually is partnering with my company, which is now Poker Player Cruises. We just closed Card Player Cruises after 33 years. and we did some partnership with Lupe. There will be a LIPS event on the Alaska cruise in August. So if you want to go, is that the one you're signed up for, LIPS? Okay. Well, you're going to just have, I mean, I would say on that cruise will probably be minimum of 50% women. We just get a lot of women because we're, but fun. We have private excursions, we have private parties, we have stories. And how many of you women have been on one of our cruises? Okay, is it fun? Yeah, you're going to have a great time. And I'm there for you, and Jan's there for you if you have anything that you want to ask about.
Linda and Jan have included me at their house for Christmas, Thanksgiving. You know, I don't have family here, and it's always fun wherever those two are. Let me tell you, they ain't right.
Any other questions?
So I did raise my hand whenever you ask who wants to be a professional, because in the words of J.J. Lew, I just want to beat the boys. My question is, at what point, and this is for the whole panel, at what point did you guys decide to get a coach, a personal one-on-one coach, if you've done that, and what difference did it make in your game?
I'd like to answer that. Hi. So I had a coach many years ago. And then I just decided I'm just going to play and I'm going to learn and I'm going to read. But about 5 years ago, right around the time of COVID, I realized the game has changed. Now, the game probably changed a long time before that, but I didn't even realize it. And I couldn't figure out why I just kept losing tournaments. And these young guys would come in and they were playing a whole different game than me. And even in Omaha, they were playing a whole different game. And I thought, well, what happened to the things that I learned 20 years ago? So I did hire a coach, and I had to unlearn everything that I did. And as soon as I started listening and learning a new method and the new poker regime, I started winning tournaments. And then about 6 months ago, I said, I really need to play, I need to learn how to play triple draw and ace to 5 and deuce to 7. I mean, sure, I know those games. I've read a lot of books, but I also realized that people were crushing these games. And as a mixed game player, it was important for me to learn. And I hired a coach and started going to group coaching sessions. There's some great coaches out there. I would highly recommend it no matter how long you've been playing. I've been playing for over 35 years in casinos, and it's never too late to get a coach. I mean, I still go to these sessions like every couple of weeks, and I learn something every single time I go.
Okay, now we're up against a time limit
I want to
here.
answer that question.
I want to thank Jason Sanborn back there. He's the poker room manager, and he is the one who works with Lupe to create this series. So, and I play here 3 nights a week. He runs a great card room. If some of you are from out of town, this is the place to go. Great dealers, and it's very comfortable here.
And also to the amazing AV team that put together us to be able to do this live stream and everything. They're phenomenal. Thank you, guys.
I want to answer her question a little bit. Other than coaching, reading is really, really important.
Can you read?
Well, no, but I've been playing too long. An example. The Four Queens had a tournament years and years ago, and I read Tom McAvoy's section that I was going to read. I won the tournament. The next week I came back and I won again with another section in that tournament. And then third time I came back and I came in second. I won 3 events, well, 2, and came in just by reading the night before I went to play the tournament. So reading and coaching are both very valuable. And the books, there's tons of them.
I just want to say that the night before Stu Unger won his first main event, he didn't know how to play No Limit Hold'em. He read Doyle's chapter, and then he beat Doyle the next day, heads up.
There's a book written by some of the women up here. It's written by 14 successful women. It's for sale at Angela's booth out there. and I highly recommend it. My chapters it says don't tell me your card did. Tells you what to do when you get short on chips and how to make moves. But I recommend, if you're going to spend $200 for a tournament, then spend $20 and get the book and learn.
Okay.
Good job, Kyla.
We've got to turn this room around for some poker. But I hope that you see why I love these women. And I see their love for life. Let's give them all another round of applause. Thank you.
Good job commentating, Gyla.
Thank you, Gyla,
Thank you,
for
ladies.
putting this program together.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to be back here at 2:10 for the $200 mystery bounty tournament. And if you guys can clear the room for us so that we can turn it around for you. Thank you so much for joining us.